guys, it is Aoife from Words of Clover, and I think today I am going to start another reading vlog. And this is only going to be a short vlog, kind of like a weekend reads vlog in a way. So mid-month book bash takes place every month. It's kind of like a miniature readathon that a lot of people do at the middle of every month, and it's kind of designed to help you get through the books that you're currently reading. And I always love watching those vlogs. Heidi from My Reading Life does it, Jenny over at Jenny King, Doris from All the Books, and yeah, I always really love their vlogs, and it's always something that I've wanted to take part in, and I've always kind of like forgotten like about it. Where yesterday was Friday, obviously, and yesterday I was thinking, oh, what kind of videos could I do for the upcoming like couple of weeks, and I thought, isn't it the middle of the month this I think it's the middle of the month this weekend, so yeah, I'm gonna do a mid-month book bash. Sorry if the quality is also kind of not as good as like my usual vlogs. I'm still vlogging on my phone after my camera broke when I was on holidays a few weeks ago, and honestly I don't really have any immediate plans to replace that camera, so yeah, I'm probably just gonna be using my phone for the foreseeable until I don't know, I eventually can get a new camera. It is about 8:30 in the morning, and yeah, I probably would have liked to have slept a little bit longer, but Rossi, she doesn't really understand lions and weekends, so she thinks that, you know, the time that we get up every morning is the time that we need to be getting up on the weekends too. So she normally wakes me up pretty early, and yeah, so we just normally hang out for a while in the mornings. We either read or play games or something like that, and yeah, she's happy that she has a little bit of company in the mornings. So I have two books that I'm currently reading at the moment, as well as my audiobook. So the book I will probably get the most read during this weekend is The Maid by Nita Prose. This is the proof copy, so obviously this is the finished cover, but it is kind of similar in the green and the gold and stuff like that. And we are following a maid called Molly who ends up finding a dead body in one of the rooms that she's cleaning in this hotel that she works at, which is like this really good, I think like 5-star hotel, and she ends up finding one of the most prestigious guests dead in the bed. And as we kind of follow Molly's story, we start knowing more about Molly, how she works, how her mind works, and we understand that she doesn't always see the world and understand the world the same as everyone else. It definitely seems that she is never like set on page, but it definitely seems that she is neurodivergent in some way, and yeah, she doesn't really understand kind of people's emotions and jokes and things like that, and isn't as good socially, but she's like a good person, but like yeah, it's just a little bit harder for her to understand the world in some ways without, I guess, getting taken advantage of either. And it's actually really interesting. I'm 8 chapters into this, and it's actually really interesting at the moment seeing things that are happening and things that Molly knows are happening, but she actually doesn't understand what they actually are. And we're starting to see how some people are taking advantage of Molly and the way her mind works, and we're seeing yeah how she could be involved in maybe more dangerous situations than she thinks. And people, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it all works out, because something was kind of revealed in the last chapter that I read about someone, and I was like, oh god, okay, this could be like really serious, and I'm hoping that nothing bad happens to her, but I'm really interested to read more of this. I think it's going to be a really good read, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And then the other book that I'm slowly making my way through is a book I picked up for Nonfiction November, and it is Hysterical by Pragya Agarwal, and this is a book that's looking at like emotions and how emotions can be stereotyped, like emotions and feelings and things like, you know, women aren't allowed to be angry or mad or things like that, because then they can be deemed hysterical, and men have to be stoic and calm, and they're never allowed to show any emotions in terms of, you know, like crying or being upset. And um that's kind of what it is. Now I'm only this much in, and I've been reading this all week, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm struggling with it quite a bit. I don't know whether it's like the subject matter, the way it's written. I'm just finding it really hard to keep my attention. So I'm taking it really slowly. I'm almost pretty much taking it chapter by chapter. I'm just going to be reading other things like along the way, because otherwise I'll never get through this. This always seems to happen to me with nonfiction Novembers, is that I'll pick a book that I think I'm gonna really like, and like while I am enjoying it, I just find it really hard to get through. And it takes me literally the entire month. So this will probably take me the entire month to read, because as I said, I'm only taking it chapter by chapter, but I want to catch up with the chapters I want to read today, and maybe even at the weekend, and we'll see from there. And yeah, as I said, it's just, I don't know, and especially when I'm reading it at nighttime, I find that like as soon as I start reading it, I start feeling sleepy, and like yeah, my attention obviously wavers a little bit. So probably better to read it in the morning when I'm not tired and not like going to bed. I think I'll start with The Maid and at least read another 2 chapters of this to get up to chapter 10. And then maybe I'll switch to Hysterical for a while, and then I also have my laptop in with me, so I'll see how I feel after that, if I want to read more or if I want to maybe like play The Sims or something for a while. Because I always love that on like a cozy weekend morning, sitting in bed, being all cozy, having Rossi beside me, as she is right now, and just like playing The Sims, or even going downstairs, putting like curling up in a blanket and playing Disney Dreamlight Valley, which is a game I'm absolutely loving at the moment, and it's pretty much like all I play. So my Sims have been neglected, so maybe I might play with them today. But yeah, that is going to be the plan, and I'll keep you guys updated. Hi guys, it is now later on. Laughing at Rossi there, and that right there is the wallpaper she ripped off the wall a few weeks ago when we had the audacity of leaving her alone for a few hours, and that's what she did. So yeah, she can sit there and stare at her work, and yeah, she doesn't care. So yeah, sorry, it is later in the evening now, and yeah, hopefully I'll do a little bit better vlogging tomorrow, but I might, if this vlog is gonna be like really short, I'll probably like extend it for a few days. But I wanted to update, I've just had my dinner and I'm about to watch a movie. I'm gonna watch The Good Nurse, which looks kind of creepy, but also pretty good. Eddie Redmayne, Jessica Chastain. I don't think you can really go wrong with either of them. So I'm looking forward to watching that. But I have been doing bits of reading throughout the day, and I am up to chapter 20. Yeah, I'm up to chapter 20 of The Maid, and I'm really, really enjoying this. It's kind of like, it's funny. It's like a murder mystery about this man who is found dead in his bed in a hotel, and the maid is kind of, she's a little bit odd, as I said, not particularly good socially. It seems like she's definitely somewhere on the autistic spectrum, and we see some people take advantage of that with her, and also it seems that she is going to be kind of the scapegoat of this murder, and it feels like someone is trying to, you know, put the blame on the murder on her, and she doesn't really know what to do, how to get out of it, and we kind of see her in a way. It's really weird because like it's really charming, even though it is a murder mystery, as I said, and there's actually something weirdly cozy about it as well, and I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the way the character of Molly, how she talks and acts, and how like, you know, she's talking to people and she's offering like cups of tea and biscuits, and there's just like something really endearing about her that I really, really like. And I like the kind of the group of good people that at this moment in time in the book she has around her, who are all trying to help her, and kind of these unlikely friends that come to her aid, and she does realize that she's not all alone in the world, and there's something really, really nice about that. So yeah, I'm finding it very charming. I'm finding it quite cozy, though it could just be the day in itself, like, you know, curling up on the couch with a blanket and reading it. So yeah, I'm really, really enjoying it so far. As I said, chapter 20, and I don't have much to go. I'll probably finish this tonight. So yeah, quite delightful so far, as a read would go, as Molly would probably describe it. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying that. And then as for Hysterical, my non-fiction book that I am struggling through, I managed to finish the chapter that I was halfway through for the last few days. So I'm currently on chapter 6, which is on page 118, and hopefully I'll get another chapter of that read tonight, but I honestly don't know. But the last few pages of the last chapter I read, I actually quite enjoyed. I found quite interesting, and this one is looking at, this chapter is called The State of Hysteria. So it's talking about hysteria and how hysteria has been, you know, even the word hysteria, how it came from like people's feelings around women and their emotions, and the misogynistic term behind that, the misogynistic history behind that term. I think it literally means, I think it's like from the womb. Yeah, the term hysteria comes from the Greek word hystericos meaning from the womb, and how, you know, so many like people and philosophers throughout time have kind of like, even particularly like Greek stories and stuff, have blamed like different moods and feelings that women have had on things like, you know, their wombs, their uterus, and if they were having sex or not, and how orgasms like could impact like a woman's mood, and if she was, you know, a widow or a spinster and she wasn't, you know, she didn't have a sex life, then this would make her more, I think, susceptible to things like hysteria, which is just crazy. This part in the book, this is the part, like, it's finally gotten to the part that I'm interested in, so I'm hoping it will keep my interest. So yeah, watch my movie, and then probably after that I'll probably curl up and watch a little bit more, unless I play a little bit of Dreamlight Valley or something like that. So yeah, that is the plan, and me and Rossi are gonna do that. Rossi. Hi guys, just popping in for an update. It is now Sunday afternoon and we have had a pretty good day so far. Me and Rossi went for a walk on the beach this morning, which was lovely, and I think Rossi had a really good time, and then got home, had a little bit of like breakfast brunch situation, and cleaned the house, which is always nice, kind of a Sunday refresh, get everything nice and clean for the week, while throughout the week it just gets messier and messier until next weekend when we have to clean again. Just the way of things. So I did get a bit of reading done, and I did manage to finish The Maid by Nita Prose. And as I said yesterday, I found this, up until the very end, I found this just a very kind of charming, funny, cozy type of story. I felt really kind of connected to the main characters, especially Molly, the maid, in this. She's just a really endearing character, and I just really liked spending time with her in this book, and I just thought she was just a lovely character to follow, and just the way she like sees the world and the way she responds to people and the way she talks to people. There was just something really lovely and sweet about it that I just really, really liked. I do think there obviously are some parts in this book that, I don't know if like it's not like a completely serious book, if you know what I mean. It's, in terms of like the criminal investigation, the murder investigation, there are definitely some things with that would like raise a few eyebrows. It's definitely not particularly, I don't know, super realistic, I guess you would say. And then there was an epilogue at the very end of this book, well, obviously at the end of the book, but I just feel like the book didn't really need it. I think it actually would have been fine without it, with a little bit of a question mark. And, you know, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I really needed the epilogue. I was really happy with everything else in the book. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it, and I'll be reading more from the author. And yeah, I'm glad I picked it up. And then I have gotten a little bit further with Hysteria. I'm just after reading a couple of chapters there just before I picked up the camera. I'm 150 pages in and on chapter 9. And as I predicted yesterday, things are definitely getting a little bit more interesting for me in terms of what I like to read about, and why I picked this book up when it came to looking at emotions and how emotions are gendered. We've had a chapter about hysteria, which I thought was really, really interesting. There was also a chapter about witches that I found really, really interesting, and witches and emotions, and obviously the whole misogyny around witches, and how witches were normally women who were outspoken and loud and opinionated and just clever as well, and how all of this can be linked into how we view emotions, and even how emotions in general in history is something that hasn't really been studied that much, because emotions were always seen to be more of like something that would affect women, because women were weaker. And because of that, and because history, you know, has been written by men more or less for the majority of it, how we've never really, like, you know, there way back, like there's like emotions and the study of emotions and what emotions are still relatively new, because they never bothered with it like way back, except to say that, you know, women get hysterical because their like womb moves around their body, you know, the kind of way, like really stupid. Yeah, I am enjoying this now, and I don't know if I'll get another chapter. I might get half a chapter read tonight, but I'm kind of happy with my progress, and as I said, I'm more or less taking this day by day, so I'll probably update a little bit later about if I've read any more of this. And I think the next book I'm going to read is another one for nonfiction November, and it is called Walking Him Home, which I think is a story about a woman whose husband becomes terminally ill, and it's a story around assisted suicide. And I think her journey with helping her husband choose and go through with assisted suicide because of his illness. So I'm looking forward to reading that because I think it is going to be possibly very sad, but a really good book. So if you also pick that up later, I'll let you know about that too. So right now I'm going to get back into cozy mode, and now that I've got my little bit of reading done, and I think I'm going to play The Sims for a little while before it gets later and have to start thinking about dinner and stuff like that. So that is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I guess I should finish out this vlog. It is now Tuesday evening. It is just after 5:30. So yeah, I really need to get this vlog wrapped up, and then maybe I can get it out tomorrow or at the end of the week at some point. So yes, I managed to read just under like halfway for Walking Him Home, and so far it's definitely kind of, it's not too emotional, but it's definitely a very heartfelt read for me so far, and I really enjoy how, you know, we're kind of learning a lot more about the two people who are central in the story, the wife and the husband. Like we're learning about them as a couple, like how they started and their relationship together, and then their years as the husband, as he first gets sick, and kind of their roller coaster of trying to figure out what exactly is wrong with him and how it affects their lives as a whole. And it definitely seems like as well the woman and who wrote this book, the author, around the same time, just before her husband gets sick, she also brings in her like elderly parents to live with her, and the two of them both have kind of varying degrees of dementia, so she's also dealing with that and dealing with like the loss of her parents, and then the loss, you know, her parents being sick as well and caring for them, and then almost as soon as she loses them, or at least loses one of her parents, her husband starts getting sick. And I just like, I really feel for her kind of in, you know, kind of her early retirement years where she should be kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like, I wouldn't say a new lease of life when you're retired, but at a point in time where, you know, you're supposed to be able to relax and to stop working and stop worrying about things so much, and suddenly like, yeah, everyone in her life is getting sick and she's suddenly becoming a carer when she never expected that to happen. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it, even though enjoying is like a weird word for this kind of book, but I'm interested to see where it goes. As far as I know, this couple and the author are based in Colorado, which has a law where assisted suicide is allowed, and you know it's all legal and stuff like that. So that's why they were able to do it, and but we're kind of still leading up to that point where it's something that they discuss and something how that they plan for. And I'm sure there's going to be a chunk of this book that's kind of like the trauma of being the person who helped your loved one do that as well. Like when they're gone, you're left, I guess, with the pain and maybe the guilt, even if it's something that they wanted. I'm sure there's a load of guilt left over after that as well. And I'll be really interested to see how that's all explored in the book too. But obviously I'll talk about that more in like my November wrap up. So these are just kind of like my thoughts on the first half of the book so far. But so far I am really, really enjoying it. I didn't get much more into hysterical last night. I was hoping to, but then I didn't. I kind of got distracted, and I was reading it, and I read the first page, or the chapter I'm on. I read the first page of that like 3 times before I was like, okay, nothing is going in, and yeah, I need to be like tip top, like focusing to be able to read this book. So yeah, that didn't happen. But yeah, I think it was like a successful mid-month book bash. I did get one book read. I got a bit more, so I got a book and a half read, and then I got more of my nonfiction book hysterical read that I thought I would. So yeah, I'm counting it as a success, and hopefully this vlog is kind of enjoyable, even though I guess I didn't do too much. But yeah, I think mid-month book bash is something that I will try and take part in more, because I do really like the idea of it, and it's a really nice kind of opportunity for little shorter vlogs as well, which should be nice. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed this vlog, if you'd like me to do more mid-month book bash. That's like a bit of a tongue twister. If you'd like me to do more of these vlogs, I would love to know. So thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.